Harry Dickerman purchased a property in Glendale at the corner of San Fernando Road and Hawthorne. The space had been built 10 years earlier in 1940 and had been used to produce plane parts for the war, although it was called the Hayward Lumber Investment Company, but had since slowed down operations and went up for sale. Because you can remember Glendale in our previous airport episodes, we talked about Grand Central Air Terminal, so we know that Glendale was like an aviation hub and producing stuff for the war.
Right.
This little spot is still there today. I'm going to be talking about the Moonlight Rollerway in Glendale. A roller rink left over from an era of roller skating that might not even be true. It might be completely romanticized in my head.
An era that I think existed just from watching Boogie Nights.
I was reading an article about like what we were talking about before. It's so hard to write about roller rinks or roller skating because like the ebb and flow is so unpredictable, because literally Boogie Nights came out and there was a resurgence of roller skating and then it died out immediately.
It feels like I don't want to say there was ever a golden age of roller skating. It feels like a fad. Like it's like the seasonal flu. Like it just keeps coming.
It comes back and then like there'll be derby dolls, so everyone will get into skating again, and then it'll just die out of nowhere, and then it'll come back for a little. Like it's weird. The pandemic was another time where everyone started roller skating again. Yes, and now it's over.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Roller skating can't die, but it can't live for very long.
It might be a virus.
They have a shot for that, you know.
Did you get your roller skating vaccine?
It turned out to just be 5G.
It turned out to be 5 wheels.
Just some background on Harry Dickerman. He was born in New York. You're sick. You're disgusting. You don't deserve to wear pants. Give it to a woman.
I spank you for misbehaving. You make me just give my pants away.
Give your pants away. Yeah.
I donate 1 pair of pants for every time I misbehave. And that's the LA Meekly promise. 1 pair of pants
This
donated.
year, Daniel gave away 30 pairs of pants for being disgusting and naughty boy.
We have, instead of a swear jar, it's just like a glass jar that I keep stuffing pants into.
Some background on him. He was born in New York in 1898 to Russian immigrant parents. He was one of 6 kids.
He comes from the town Big Buttville.
It's pronounced Butte.
Big Butte, New York.
Take a look at that Butte, New York.
Back that Butte up.
I like Big Buttes. Big Buttes is
and then their sister city, and I cannot LYE.
So the Dickermans were a struggling blue-collar family, so they all developed a strong work ethic because they had to. The family moved from New York to Minneapolis for a while and moved to Southern California shortly after or during World War II. That's the Hogan's Heroes one, is World War II. Dickerman seemed to operate mostly in San Bernardino, where he opened the Baseline Drive-In Theater in Highland, which is, according to the internet, remembered fondly.
Okay.
This is one of those people like, the man from the roller rink also did the theater that we... Yeah, it's like the same. The stuff he makes gets regarded high on the internet for locals, and then anyone who's not from Highland is like, I don't care. What's a drive-in theater?
This is baseline interest level.
Yeah. In an article about him in 1956, they stated that Dickerman was the owner and president of the Atlas Theater Corporation with theaters across the country, but I couldn't find out too much about that other than he had a theater. In 1925, it seems Harry Dickerman took over Harry's roller rink.
Wait a minute. Did he name it Harry's, or is it just a coincidence?
Which was also in San Bernardino. But here's the thing: he's not the Harry in Harry's roller rink, which was it was another Harry. But Butte. After Harry managed this Harry's roller rink, he went ahead and bought the former Plain Parts industrial building in Glendale in 1950 with plans on opening his own Harry's roller rink, and he would be the Harry this time.
That's ridiculous.
It's really stupid. So he added 2¼ inch thick, which is over 2 subfloors, 75 by 170 foot tongue and groove maple wood flooring. Tongue and groove.
Maple wood. I'll keep that in mind.
Maple wood when I need to hit you. Yeah. Tongue and groove means there's no nails used. They're just kind of like wedged into each other.
That's my favorite type of humor.
And with that, Harry Dickerman had installed the most essential piece of his new establishment in Harry's roller rink.
The floor
to skate on.
The
rink in the roller rink.
And now I need rollers.
And he did so in, I don't know, here's the thing. The spot where it's at is like half industrial and half residential. Like behind it, it's like what area, I think it's called like Tunerville. I don't know what traditionally it's called. It's probably just like
Toontown.
It's Toontown. But like the train tracks is there. The Gentleman's Club is on the other side of the train tracks. There's all these industrial kind of places around there. Freeway's right there, but also on the other side of it, all the houses.
I only saw this place after actually we were with Emilio, but I didn't want to go on the freeway because like the Dodgers had
right. It was a World Series game.
Yeah, it was a World Series game. They lost, I believe. So you told me like, oh, take this road and this road home. Right. And I did. And when I got home, I was like, Greg, you didn't tell me there's a roller rink.
There's a roller rink that you invite me to all the time. You didn't tell me that there was a roller rink.
I didn't know what you were talking about. I thought you wanted to stay at home and curl our hairs one night. Our hair.
Our hairs meaning your hair.
Yeah, my hairs.
We spend so much time together, it's actually my hair as well. Like, since I have none. Your cup runneth over. My cap runneth over.
It's technically not lycanthropy, but It is gross. The doctor does describe it as gross.
The doctor describes it as, I don't want to go in there with him. So Harry's roller rink opened in February 15th of 1956. Roller skating was, like we were talking about, a wildly popular pastime during the Great Depression, and the novelty had survived through the 40s somehow. I haven't been to a roller rink since I was a kid, and even then, I think I'm thinking of an ice skating rink. So roller rinks exist.
They're really cold in there, right?
When you fall down, it hurts and it's cold, right?
And you can also get sliced across the throat by the other people roller skating.
Everyone's having a good time, but we all know that we're on knives, right? That's that. But roller rinks exist in our modern world as a living novelty from the past, meaning they are actually enjoyed and serve entertainment for people, young and old. So many articles are about like senior nights at Moonlight Rollerway. But even though they are genuinely enjoyed, they are still a relic of teen fun from 70 years ago.
They're not, like you said, they're not like Victorian era old.
Right.
This is an old thing to do.
It is an old thing. Yeah.
You might as well be at home playing gin rummy, only with a lot more cocaine.
Not prescribed officially.
Yeah, that's
but your
the Victorian
friend sold
era.
it. Yeah, that's Victorian era. Yeah, roller rinks. They're like bowling alleys, but everyone is having fun.
Okay, rude. Greg, do you
roller
know
rinks are like bowling alleys, but pretty girls like it.
Greg, double rude. I was in a lot of bowling leagues when I was younger with a lot of pretty girls, okay?
My mom, my sisters. Gorgeous.
Just as much wood paneling on the much wood on the floor though, those two places. One thing that qualifies something as an old-timey attraction is that it has to happen on a wood floor.
Oh, maple wood floor, and you have to have different you have to put your shoes somewhere else.
Bowling, roller rinks, and square dancing. You got to put your shoes on the side.
You got to put your left foot in, you got to put your left out.
You put them everywhere, in and out. You shake them all bit.
So there's roller rinks. There's the skating aspect of it. Obviously, that's what you go for. But there's also, in the roller rink heyday, there'd be a live organist playing songs for skaters. That was just a big deal. There'd be theme nights, which sounds like a blast. There'd be like a snack shack, and later in decades, they'd have like arcades would be thrown into the mix. A lot of times, roller rinks would be rented for private parties with families and friends, or church and social groups and schools. Likewise, they offer classes, and during the 50s, Harry had a summer instruction course, or I guess summer instruction hours for kids from the local recreational program under sponsorship of the Parks and Rec Department. So they put together like programs to ship kids in on a school bus for free, teach them how to roller skate, and send them back as like summer programming, which is really cool.
Send them back as disco champions.
So this is the kind of stuff that would happen at Harry's roller rink. In 1968, Harry Dickerman of the Harry's roller rink sold the space to Mildred and Clifford. I think this is how you say the last name. Nishecki. Clifford Nishecki was a two-time New York figure skating champion, and along with Mildred, his wife, the two won the two won the New York paired championship 3 times. So they were like
in roller skating.
Mm-hmm. Since their heyday, which I think was there in the 30s, the two had moved to Southern California, and along with giving lessons on skating, began managing roller rinks. The roller rink they managed was a roller rink in Pasadena called the Moonlight Rollerway, which was the original one, 3545 East Colorado Boulevard, closer to like Arcadia. The Moonlight Rollerway was owned by Ralph Perkins, who opened the original one in Pasadena in 1940, and in the ads, which feature Archie, Jughead, and Betty, it was referred to as the Rose Bowl of roller skating.
The Rolls
Bowl. It's Rose Bowl. The Pasadena location was the site of the 1950 National Championships of the U.S. Amateur Roller Skating Association. So like, again, 40s was another time where like skating, we're all having fun, even though there's clearly cars that work.
Well, clearly no one's getting around town on roller skates except me.
Except me during the pandemic.
By the way, roller blades for me, not roller skates, okay?
It's a little more dangerous.
You know, I think about that a lot because I once brought up, you forced me to bring up how I'm rollerblading for exercising. You forced my hand.
You literally could not stop talking about it for a while.
Off the air, Greg.
Every time you worked up a sweat, it's as bad as me rollerblading. Greg.
Oh, you see those wheels? That reminds me of when I rollerblade, whenever you like rolled a chair up to me.
How fast can you go on that thing? It's a chair. I can go pretty fast on my rollerblades. How fast can you go on that chair you're sitting in?
Because when I brought it up, I think people got the impression that I'm going around on roller skates.
Oh, right.
Which I do not want people to have that impression, because that
is
to me
embarrassing.
To me, the idea of people thinking I'm on roller skates makes me think that they think I'm going around with like knee pads and a fanny pack and like a sweatband. But no, I'm on roller blades. Okay,
right.
I've got a Spitfire shirt on. I've got
the fanny pack is way cooler. It's got flames on it.
The fanny pack is over my shoulder, as kids do. My pants have a belt that came built into it.
My cargo pants are literally holding all of my stuff.
All of my pogs.
Walkman, yeah.
My first edition Charizard.
You wanting to distinguish between roller skates and rollerblades is like, I don't eat yogurt, I eat Go-Gurt. That's the difference. It's not yogurt, it's Go-Gurt. I'm not a lame like my dad. I eat yogurt on the go. That's the same thing.
I don't yo, I go.
I go. And when I go, I really yo.
And when I go, I girt.
By 1949, though, Ralph Perkins was out as the owner and the Nishekis were in. So now by 1949, they own the Moonlight Rollerway and they want to open up a second location. And so they buy Harry's Roller Rink in Glendale. They open up that one and they do another one in Garden Grove. So there was originally 3 Moonlight Rollerways. So what people think is a wholly unique roller rink in LA is actually the sole surviving location, the last of its kind. And the Nishekis changed very little when they took over the thing. So it's still kind of like...
I haven't been in there, but I imagine even still it looks... Because like that's how even like ice rinks, because there's so few roller rinks, like every single ice rink I've been into, except there's some nice ones. I take that back. But like your average ice rink, it's like, okay, I'm in the 70s again.
Right. Pickwick was kind of like that.
Yeah. That's exactly what Pickwick, Panorama City, like it's all just like, okay, it smells the same. There's
leather seats everywhere. Okay.
Oh, please. Leather in that weather? That is not leather weather. There's a timeless quality to places like, and same with bowling alleys. Like any bowling alley, you feel like you're in the 60s again. And I love that.
I like the ones where you do feel like you're in the 60s. I don't like the ones that are like their videos above each bowling lane.
I like that.
I don't like that.
I want to see the turkey come up when I get a turkey.
I want to see a dynamite go off and you're like, you're pretty hot tonight. See that? The computer said I was hot.
And that's what I would tell everyone in my bowling league. And my mom, my sisters.
The most gorgeous woman I know. So they changed very little when they took over Harry's Roller Rink. So even by 1968, 1969, it was already 20 years down. They were like, okay, well, let's just keep this vintage retro aesthetic, which is from the 50s. Yeah. And they also brought along a young organ player from the other rink, Dominic Canglosi, who, along with his Hammond B3 organ, entertained skaters for decades to come. From the 60s on, popularity in roller skating and rinks really, like I was saying, was an ebb and flow. Like they fought the emergence of TV and the Beatles and Elvis, and then they had another resurgence in the disco era of the late 70s and 80s, but nowhere near the crowds they had seen before. So like again, like, oh, everyone's kung fu fighting roller disco, it's cool. And then the 80s was like kind of some people in hip hop were doing roller skating to keep it alive. Pretty much after that, after the explosion of rock and roll, the live organ player became a novelty within a novelty as well. So the music that dominated roller rinks were, like disco, Elvis, hip hop, the Beatles.
He couldn't play that on his
He couldn't
Hammond
play.
organ.
He was trying so hard to come up with a beat.
If you can't play the Sugar Hill Gang on your Hammond organ, then are you really a Hammond organist?
Recorded music started taking over. Live organ music became a specialty night, which was Tuesdays. So by 1985, the Nishekis were looking to sell the Moonlight Rollerway and be done with it. But who should step in and purchase it but the organ player Dominic Canglosi, who dropped $96,000 on buying the Moonlight Rollerway to keep it alive.
That's pretty cheap. I mean, to buy a roller rink?
In 1985.
I guess in 1980, never mind. I'd say that's like $7 million today. Thanks, Reagan.
When's that 96 grand going to trickle down to me? Dominic has been the owner ever since then. When I was talking about Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night, you can still, as of 2021, still see Dominic Canglosi play live organ music, cool. Which is like, he plays like Foxtrot and he plays like all the Moonlight Rollerway is the missing live organ place. You won't see the Mighty Wurlitzer, but you'll get old timey organ music at the Moonlight Rollerway while you skate.
I feel like this podcast has become us just slowly uncovering who plays an organ in this city.
But the Bob Baker thing, Ed Torres was playing the
really?
organ.
He was there?
He was there. And then the very next day we went to...
we should say from the El Segundo
Old Town Music Hall, who usually plays there. The next day we went to Old Town Music Hall to watch Holiday Inn, and they added padding on the seats. But it was a different guy was playing for that. But I was like, oh my God, like I've seen 2 different Wurlitzers playing in one weekend. Am I Daniel now?
Do I need to start rollerblading around town?
So if you go inside Moonlight Rollerway tonight, you will be steeped in 50s.
And we will.
It's open. You'll be steeped in 50s, 60s nostalgia. Both the Nishekis and Canglosi has changed very little the architecture or decor of the roller rink. The color bar lights that adorn the entrance are amazing. They look so good. They're literally American graffiti. It's literally like old 50s America.
I also think they might have just filmed an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia there.
Oh, really?
Where they buy a roller rink.
You mean the gang buys a roller rink?
You're really good at guessing tonight. How did you know that was the title?
Moonlight Rollerway also has a cafe and arcade. Still offers classes of all ages. Has an adult night, Saturday young skater hours on Saturdays. Every Wednesday night from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Rainbow Skate Night, which is an LGBTQ skating session, which allows...
Even better than what I thought it was going to be.
Allows members of the community to do something that isn't going to a bar, which they listed on their site. Moonlight Rollerway has a senior skate night, country western night, and a Harry Potter night, which are offered regularly.
So you're supposed. What does roller skating have to do with Harry Potter?
It's a theme, so you go dressed as a wizard or whatever. Stupid
Well,
thing.
I
You
always
go
dress like a wizard when I go
an owl with you or whatever.
I dress like a wizard and bring an owl whenever I go rollerblading. That's how I get the most speed.
I cut scars into people's foreheads. That's how I get speed.
Was that what Charles Manson and his group were doing? They really liked Harry Potter?
They messed the Thunderstrike up, so they had to do it again in a different
They
direction.
were trying to do SS lightning bolts, but they got a little confused.
It's hard to do it when you don't have a mirror and you're just trying to figure it out on your forehead, your own forehead.
The mirror of Erised. Harry Potter.
Okay. COVID-19 slowed down the roller rink as it did with everything else, but Kanglosi used that time to make behind-the-scenes repairs and maintenance and reopen slowly and safely with the help of, they did a lot of drives online and were able to put money together to stay open. If you're wondering if you've seen Moonlight Rollerway before, you probably have.
The gang buys a roller rink?
The gang buys a roller rink. The gang buys Moonlight Rollerway in Los Angeles.
From the L.A. Meekley episode in particular.
You've maybe seen it in 1979's Roller Boogie, or Jack Hill's Switchblade Sisters when they kicked that pregnant girl in the stomach with roller skates. Glow.
Okay.
Glee.
Okay.
Euphoria.
I thought you were going to say Glib, Glob, Glorb.
Damn, that was the next movie. Gliff, Glaff, Glove. Loveless. Lovelace. The movie about the porn star from Deep Throat. I can't remember her first name now.
Love Lice.
Love Lice. Straight Outta Compton, their first concerts at a roller rink. It's Moonlight Rollerway. The Buddy Holly story starring Gary Busey. And Jessica Simpson's music video for Public Affair.
That's what I know it from.
But it has to be said that the historic and family-friendly roller rink is not without huge controversy. Moonlight Rollerway has been accused of discriminating against people of color. It seems like the veiled refusal is regarding fiber wheels or fibers as well as micro wheels, which is popular in the black community. I think it's linked to hip-hop in some way.
What? Like the type of wheels?
The type of wheels, because according to rinks, the roller rinks, they're saying that these types of wheels will scratch up rink floors, but a lot of people have argued against this. Also, the toe stops too. They're saying that scratches the floor, but a lot of people that's not necessarily true. It seems like Moonlight Rollerway has sent a lot of people home, excused them because they had these types of wheels when they came in. But if you're a person of color, you've been asked to leave, but white influencers with these types of wheels have not been. And it's created a big controversy on Reddit. Many people in the roller skating community agree that the black skaters helped keep roller skating alive with hip hop, and also
you keep bringing up hip hop and roller. Was that a big thing?
I think early on it was. I think early on, the early days of hip hop, it was, and then it's just sort of embedded in it.
So I would
no. But if this is true,
you're saying,
but let me get this straight,
that the Run DMC boys would have liked me.
If this ban is true, it seems really targeted and unfair.